Imagine a small island, a stepping stone placed perfectly in the glistening waters of the eastern Mediterranean. To its west lies Europe, a bastion of order and economic integration. To its east, the volatile tapestry of the Middle East. Cyprus has for millennia been a crossroads of civilizations, a prize for empires, a meeting point of cultures. Now, in 2026, Cyprus takes the rotating presidency of the Council of the European Union. This is not ceremonial, it is strategic. Every decision and negotiation will carry unprecedented weight for the Eastern Mediterranean. The world is grappling with profound shifts in energy markets, persistent security challenges, and shifting alliances. For 6 months, Cyprus will guide the EU agenda, broker compromises among 27 member states, and represent the Union worldwide. A nation with an unresolved conflict now sits at the center of regional decision-making. From Brussels to Ankara to Washington, the question: will Cyprus foster stability or amplify tensions? This presidency thrusts Eastern Mediterranean issues to the forefront. Unresolved territorial disputes and maritime borders. A race for newly discovered offshore natural gas reserves. Complex relationships with neighbors like Turkey and Israel. And the ever-present challenge of migration. Cyprus will not be a neutral observer. It is a primary stakeholder. Its leadership will be tested balancing national interests with EU stewardship. A chance to rewrite its narrative, from divided island to pivotal diplomatic player and energy hub. Decisions could set precedents for maritime law and Europe's energy security. Every move scrutinized, able to build bridges or burn them. To understand 2026, we must first grasp Cyprus's unresolved division. In 1974, a coup to unite with Greece triggered a Turkish intervention under the 1960 Treaty of Guarantee. The northern third was occupied, hundreds of thousands displaced, the island partitioned by a UN buffer zone. The Green Line runs through Nicosia, Europe's last divided capital. Today, the internationally recognized Republic of Cyprus is an EU member representing the island abroad. In the north, the so-called Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus is recognized only by Turkey. Most of the world views the north as territory under Turkish occupation. Sovereignty remains the core dispute. The EU acquis is suspended in the north pending a settlement. Holding the EU presidency is temporary power. Chair meetings, set agendas, make the machine run. From technical working groups to ministerial councils, the presidency drives legislation forward. It leads trilogues, the closed-door sessions where EU laws are finalized. Outcomes shape lives of over 450 million Europeans. The core duty: act as an honest, neutral broker above national interest. The chair sets priorities: climate, digital innovation, migration, regional security, and energy policy. Skillful agenda management lets Cyprus spotlight Eastern Mediterranean stability without alienating partners. The challenge: be seen as serving the Union, not only Cyprus. If handled well, Cyprus can steer debates on maritime stability and energy corridors. For a smaller state, the presidency is a massive undertaking and a chance to punch above its weight. With planning, thousands of officials, and a clear vision, constraint can become leverage. Vast offshore gas fields, Aphrodite, Leviathan, Zohr, have reshaped the Eastern Mediterranean. Deep beneath national EEZs, Cyprus, Israel, Egypt, lies blue gold with European significance. For Cyprus, a route to prosperity and a new pillar of EU energy security beyond Russian gas. The challenge is delivery. Pipelines and LNG, expensive, complex, and political. The EastMed pipeline would link fields via Greece to Italy, an engineering feat and geopolitical statement. Turkey disputes Cyprus's maritime agreements and licensing authority, citing its shelf and Turkish Cypriot rights. Vessels have entered waters claimed by Cyprus and Greece, often escorted by warships. Nicosia and Athens call these actions violations of sovereignty and international law. As president, Cyprus could push EU investment, designate an East Med energy corridor as a project of common interest. It may advocate a stronger EU stance against what it deems illegal drilling. For Turkey, Cyprus chairing the EU is strategically sensitive, suspicion and calculation. Ankara recognizes the north alone and maintains a military presence. Turkey is an EU candidate, yet does not recognize the member state chairing meetings. Expect a PR push portraying the presidency as biased and illegitimate on Turkey-related files. Simultaneously, Ankara may signal indispensability, pitching transit routes via Turkey as practical and cost-effective. If Cyprus advances exclusive pipelines or new licensing, Ankara could respond with robust diplomacy or gunboat moves. Each step raises the risk of accidental escalation at sea. The presidency forces Turkey to thread a narrow path, hardline on Cyprus, yet managing ties with the EU. Greece views Cyprus's presidency with shared purpose and strategic alignment. Deep cultural, linguistic, and political bonds underpin the partnership. Athens has long championed Cyprus across EU, NATO, and the UN. Cypriot sovereignty is a Greek red line tied to its own security in the Eastern Med. Greece will back Nicosia behind the scenes to navigate Brussels and keep focus on regional security and law of the sea. But alignment risks the perception of bias. Members prioritizing trade or de-escalation will resist being drawn into a Greco-Turkish frame. Success demands serving all 27, framing East Med energy as a European benefit, not a zero-sum victory. Tough stances might embolden Athens or escalate tensions, pulling Greece into confrontation. Athens will counsel firmness on principles and openness to dialogue. Israel, a key partner, shares energy stakes and military coordination with Cyprus and Greece. Egypt, energy hub with Zohr, aligns with Athens and Nicosia, eyeing EU ties and countering Turkish influence. Fragile Lebanon's stability and maritime ambitions are shaped by EU decisions under Cyprus's lead. France pushes hard lines. Germany and Spain urge moderation. Internal EU currents matter. The US and NATO seek to prevent a crisis between allies Greece and Turkey, urging practical energy solutions. Cyprus, non-NATO but EU, must engage all, advancing Europe's agenda without alienating the American umbrella. Handled deftly, the presidency can convene a crowded cast into practical cooperation. Opportunity and peril walk together. Aggressive drilling licenses or EU sanctions pushes could provoke Ankara. Gunboat diplomacy risks an accidental clash at sea. One misstep, collision or minor exchange, could spiral, drawing in Greece. The EU would face a nightmare, choosing sides, fracturing consensus. Turkey could suspend dialogue and migration cooperation, reigniting crisis across Europe. A confrontational course could harden Turkish Cypriot positions and cement partition. The better path is proactive diplomacy and de-escalation. Cyprus can convene a multilateral dialogue on maritime delimitation, resource sharing, and codes of conduct. An EU-backed energy forum, inclusive, technical, commercially focused, lowers political temperature. Creative measures, like EU-managed escrow of gas revenues shared in a settlement, can build trust. Opening crossings and economic projects can humanize progress and revive talks. The presidency can showcase Cyprus as a stable hub, finance, trade, tech, at Europe's frontier. As 2026 nears, Cyprus faces a high-stakes diplomatic gambit. Be assertive on sovereignty and EU interests, yet wise and restrained as an honest broker. A hammer might bring short-term satisfaction, but invites isolation, EU-NATO fissures, and energy shocks. Courage lies in building bridges, bold confidence building, inclusive talks, practical energy cooperation. Best case, modest, meaningful progress. Cyprus as a source of solutions and regional stability.